Hey everyone, Jason Schappert here of M0A.com, and today I'm going to share with you guys how to log flight time, specifically how to fill out the logbook. And I'm always so amazed when I deal with a student where a support ticket comes in, or I deal with a student I pick up for an instrument rating and says, Jason, can you do my logbook for me? I don't quite understand. And it makes sense though, because we're in this society where we just hand our logbook to our instructor and they kind of just do everything for us, close it and say, okay, see you next week. And we never learn how to actually fill out our logbook for ourselves. So we're going to go through, I'm going to show you those pages, and we're going to talk about what each column means. We're going to talk about Hobbs versus takt time, and we're going to discuss these sort of things as we go through it. So let's go ahead and take a look at our actual logbook I have down here. So nice, blank, fresh logbook. I'm not actually going to write in it because it's too nice right now. I don't want to screw it up, but I'm going to show you and go through each column with you. So date, pretty easy. Make and model, pretty easy. Cessna or C-172. ID number, November 7159 Quebec. Where did I depart from? Where did I go to? Don't forget about airports in between. If we go from Ocala to Ocala, but we do touch and goes at the Denell and Marion County Airport, I'm going to do OCF, X-ray 35, somewhere in between OCF, and fill all that in. Landings, day and night. Remember, a landing constitutes I actually touch down. Go-arounds don't count in that process. Instrument approaches for my IFR guys. Number of instrument approaches, and type and location. I do 2 approaches. I need to write in ILS 36 OCF, GPS 36 OCF, where it was actually done at. And now we get into category in class. Airplane single engine is what we have here. And it brings up an interesting question. It brings up the question of Hobbs or takt time. I log Hobbs time. Now, before you go crazy, I like takt time. In fact, I like being billed takt time, but I want to log Hobbs time. Some of you will get that joke. Tak is based on how hard I work that engine. And why some people log takt time is because they believe, well, start, taxi, run up, you shouldn't be logging that. That doesn't count. But I've got the intent to fly, and well, I'm going to log that time. Short of if I have like this, I'm number 6 for departure and I'm just sitting there, waiting. I might take a little bit off that Hobbs time because of that long delay. But that's why some people like to log takt time, is because it's based on when the engine isn't running, at a cruise RPM setting. That's when the takt really starts going. It's those revolutions is what we're basically logging. You can always compare Hobbs and takt to see the difference in the numbers, and you will have some discrepancy. Usually, that takt time is going to be less than the Hobbs time. This is why it's not fair to log takt time in a situation like landings. If you're coming into land, you're at full power, you're at cruise power on downwind, and by the time you're at the abeam point, you're already bringing the power back, and you glide it in essentially the rest of the way. You're not logging the true amount of time you were flying. So that's why I like to use Hobbs time in that case. So in this category of airplane single, I put in my case, by Hobbs time, 10, 11, whatever it may be. As I add different class of aircraft, airplane single engine C, these sort of things, I can add those items there. Over to my instrument time. Actual time is actually sticking my head in the clouds. Simulated is hood time. Now you're going to have to ask your safety pilot to say, hey, you're in charge of knowing when I started on the hood and when I took that hood off, so we can get an accurate log of that Hobbs time. FTD or simulator time goes over here. You log it just like you would 10, 12, whatever the time is. Nighttime goes right here. Cross-country time. They have a category for all. I can explain that in a bit. And they have a category over 50 nautical miles. Unless you're working to be an ATP, I would just throw this category out here and just do over 50 nautical miles. And different logbooks are going to show it different ways. PIC time. PIC time. When am I the sole manipulator of the flight controls, the pilot in command? And when am I solo? Difference between PIC and solo. Solo is I am the sole occupant on board. So you'd also have PIC time. I'd have 10 PIC, 10 solo. But I could go flying with a non-flying passenger. I'm not solo. I'm the sole pilot on board, but I'm not solo. That's the definition of solo. So it is PIC only time. I have ground training received, which we can log there. Flight training received, which is my dual given. Flight training given when you become a flight instructor, and then total flight time. Usually your total flight time is going to match back where we started with that single engine or whatever time you're actually logging. And then we get down to the remarks section. And the remarks section brings up an interesting point. What do I put in my remarks? Do I put, hey, I went and grabbed a hamburger with Bob? Well, certainly you can. You want to put really two things. You want to write something to answer two questions. What will help me remember this flight? And what will help me prove currency and proficiency? For example, if you're going up because you're past your 90 days for the carriage of passengers, you want to write in there currency flight for passengers and where you did your landings at, which you'll have in there. And maybe if you're flying to go get lunch with Bob, well, you can put that in there. I write remarks on how the weather was that day. Flew with John to go get lunch, really bumpy day, lower ceilings than forecast. And I kind of use that as a way to go back over time and learn from that as I read through my logbook. It's kind of like if you were ever to keep a journal and you go back and like, wow, look how far I've come. Do that and treat your remarks section that way. So hopefully you learned something from this video. Don't be ashamed if you didn't know how to fill out a logbook. Because again, we just often close it and give it to our instructors and they do everything for us. I did a video a while ago on many years ago now on how to fill up an airplane with gas from a self-serve fuel pump. And I was amazed at the response that people were like, yeah, the line guys just always come out and fill up the airplane. And one day it was just self-serve fuel and I didn't know what to do. So sometimes the simplest things are hard to do. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment down below this video if you guys have any questions. You can always reach out to us via the top of m0a.com. You'll see Ask a Question. You can reach out to any of our great CFIs here at m0a.com. Also check out our #1 rated online ground school, groundschoolacademy.com. And most importantly, remember that a good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, guys. See ya. Pass your check ride or I'll pay for it. Join our #1 rated online ground school and participate in live mock check rides and interactive written test prep. Visit groundschoolacademy.com to learn more.